TODAK. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a match you definitely don't want to miss. Dafa, any preferences looking at both of these drafts?
On one hand, TODAK's draft is definitely going to be very fun to watch. It's very difficult to kill him. They have a lot of big ultimates that we can play around. But I do think that ONIC has an easier win condition to achieve. They have a lot of late game damage on both Drian and CW. As long as they can avoid getting caught out too much, they will have an easy path to victory.
They also have an extremely beefy front line. You have that Franco as well as the Grok, so that definitely helps. But right now, it's going to be TODAK aggressing onto ONIC Esports in their own jungle. Sans taking too much damage, falling as first blood to Yums, but the fight continues. Yums gets taken down and pays the price for that, as well as Momo. ONIC Esports punishing TODAK.
At first, it looks like TODAK has control of the situation and caught ONIC Esports off guard with a catch, resulting in first blood, but then putting themselves a little bit too much at risk. Yums was definitely ready to give away his life to trade for Sans, but the fact that Keyboy was actually able to land the hook and pull Momo into tower range, resulting in a 2-for-1 trade, is actually beneficial to ONIC instead.
Yeah, both teams super aggressive at this point, and I think this is exactly the kind of game you want to watch. And they are flexing the early game advantages that the two team compositions have.
Yeah, hold on one moment. Moon in a bit of trouble, but he's fine. Dark Knight Falls already popped. Sans already level 4, picking up an easy kill onto Chiku in the top lane. He now wants to look for Yums. Keyboy gonna provide a hand here, and a hook gonna solidify that kill.
This is the ONIC that I thought we would see, you know, in the previous game, and it looks like they're back. TODAK, though, in this time, taking the opportunity to take the turtle on the bottom side, so they get a consolation prize in the form of this objective.
Hopefully it will be enough though. ONIC already 1k ahead in net worth thanks to these early rotations. Down here in the EXP lane, we can see that 4Maze will not have too much of a problem going up against Boots. But at the same time, Boots, he just wants to be able to get some money, get that farm, get those first 2 damage-based items, because that is going to be high and dry on this Grok. And then he can start rotating around and contributing a lot more to team fights than 4Maze logically can.
It's pretty difficult though. Right now they're just trading, you know, between the two of them, and it doesn't look like one is getting a hit off the other just yet. Boots a little bit of breathing space for now.
Right now, we can see though, TODAK still playing quite aggressive. Yums going in for the Fatal Links, catches out CW, forces the flicker as Chiku gets caught by Koopa. And Yums gonna get pulled back with the Iron Hook. Dark Knight Falls falling down. That's gonna be killing spree. Going over to Sans, 2-for-0.
2-for-0 in favor of ONIC Esports. Again, they're getting the kills that they need. Somehow TODAK not being... Well, yes, that's precisely what the Hellcurt is supposed to do, and they're pulling off exactly that. Chiku isn't having the time of his day, I guess, right now, but is there still a chance for him to get back?
There absolutely still is. It's a 2k net worth lead right now for ONIC Esports, and yes, that's not ideal 3 minutes into the game, but it's still a lead that can be overcome as long as TODAK doesn't get overconfident. So far, all of ONIC Esports' advantage has been gained by them just overextending themselves and getting caught out.
Oh, the suppression comes onto Moon, but he gets thrown by Yums here. The hook comes in onto Yums, immobilizes. Not enough damage right now to put him out, and the Glorious Pathway carves out an escape for him. So no kills down at the moment, but the objective is up. Both teams recalling, but Sans getting the advantage here.
Yep, Sans definitely has the much more advantageous position to pick up this turtle, and you can see that TODAK isn't going to bother trying to contest it. They already used most of their cooldowns just trying to disengage from the earlier fight. So this is a very ideal start for ONIC Esports, especially when you consider that they just want to gear up for that late game scaling.
Yeah, 4Maze already trying to get a hit as well, shaving off that gold plating off the bottom turret. Well, safe for a bit. ONIC, CW as well as Keyboy trying to babysit a little. 4Maze coming in with the engage, but takes a bloody hunt to the face, and all the damage falling in. Drian with the snipes comes through.
4Maze definitely was not expecting that. He thought that he would be able to survive the entire bloody hunt against this combo from ONIC Esports, and he did. But Drian coming in with the Dawning Light secures that kill right now. TODAK being quite sloppy, but they're trying to look for something still.
Yeah, not able to get it so far. Pop the glorious pathway, but CW was able to make his way out back under his turret. So no kills so far for TODAK. Of course, not to count them out. Like you said, they have a late game composition. They want more though. CW in some trouble. Immediately taken out by Moon here. And now trying to get Keyboy as well, but manages to save himself. That hook misses the mark, doesn't get anyone, but enough to protect himself. Sans putting out the damage onto Yooms here. Flickers out to safety on the right side. Drian gets Dawning Light onto Chiku. One more hit will do the trick, but he manages to jump his way out.
Ooh, Chiku playing with fire there, wanting to get as much damage done on the tower as possible. It's quite lucky he was able to walk out of that. He's already 0-2. You don't want more deaths on this Wanwan. Meanwhile, ONIC Esports have just been extending their control over the map. Sans even managing to steal the purple buff away from TODAK's own jungle. Right now, their mistakes really biting them in the butt as ONIC Esports are in a really comfortable position.
They are, and if this continues, it's going to get even better for them. Like, yes, TODAK does have, scaling potential in terms of Chiku, especially for Maze, but so does ONIC Esports. Drian, when he hits his items, and CW as well, is going to dish out so much damage. So the pressure from ONIC is going to be relentless.
I'm not really seeing what TODAK's game plan is right now. Their early aggression attempts have already failed, and I'm not really seeing Momo contribute too much to the team fights. So far, he's just been popping the glorious pathway and not really doing too much. As a result, ONIC Esports just has way more damage. Another turtle going their way.
I think right now Momo has been forced to use the glorious pathway mostly as a form of escape for his teammates. So far they haven't been able to get the engage, just like you said. And Yooms, we said he has that one-hit wonder, but also haven't been able to start the fights that they need.
Yeah, it's quite difficult for Yooms to actually be able to land those fatal links simply because, yeah, it's very easy for ONIC Esports to see him coming. He's forced to use his flicker to actually land something effective, and well, you don't have that up all the time.
Keyboy flickers out, was stunned out, but will survive now. The conceal play. Is he going to get somebody? Again, glorious pathway pop misses the iron hook. Doesn't get anyone, so both teams disengage.
I am suspecting right now that TODAK is actually just going for straight up distraction play. You can see that 4 of their members are mainly roaming together and allowing 4 Maze to just go for the split push. They know that once ONIC Esports realizes this is their game plan, they're gonna send more people to deal with 4 Maze, and when that happens, it becomes easier for Chiku to get his farm. But this depends on ONIC responding a very specific way.
Gets the iron hook onto Yooms. Keyboy nailing that and just immediately pops the bloody hunt to take him down. All of that damage. Too much, unfortunately. I think Yooms was looking for a play there, but instead was the one who got countered.
Yeah, Yooms really getting countered here. We have to note that when he uses that perfect match, the moment that he rejoins with his Mecha Sentry, he stops in place for a moment, and that's very easy for Keyboy to take advantage of. Now they're jumping onto Momo. Pops the Dark Knight Falls, but he's able to get away.
Yeah, I'm not able to make full use of that. I guess Momo able to get out of that fight. Keyboy trying to see if he can hook again, but doesn't quite get it. 4 Maze going in the backline onto Keyboy actually though. Puts out some damage, but it's not enough before ONIC Esports reacts as well. The Lord is up on the top side now, so both teams maybe instead of brawling will start to turn their sights to this.
You can see that all things considered, in the past few minutes, TODAK has definitely been toning down their aggression. As a result, even though several more minutes have passed, they have still maintained their 3k net worth difference with ONIC. Obviously, still not ideal, but definitely better than continuing to try and take fights and giving up even more in return to their opponents. We can see that in terms of items completed, we can see most of the cores already having 1 or 2 main items. Sans even going for a Malefic Roar as the second item, knowing that TODAK has a lot of bulk and he needs to be able to break through that.
They are getting the Lord now. Will they be able to pull it off? Yes, Sans gets the Lord, and now TODAK, they want to find something for Maze, just going in but get stunned out.
Ooh.
Oh, puts out so much damage on the CW though, doesn't get the kill yet. CW makes his way out to safety, thankfully, and it's going to be in favor of ONIC Esports now with that Lord.
I think we have to note though, even though ONIC Esports, they're getting the wins in fights, they're getting more kills, they're getting more farm, they're getting the neutral objectives, TODAK actually still have the advantage in terms of structures, simply because when they're not able to take a fight, they swap their attention over to taking these towers from ONIC Esports instead. So in that way, they are still maintaining map control, even though they're losing a lot more fights than they should.
Playing that macro game, and just with 4 mace on this, Masha makes it so much easier to do that. On the side of ONIC Esports, maybe not quite being able to achieve the same, but they don't need that if they have the Lord charging down the top side. Already got in the tier 2 turret here, suppressed this 4 mace and stunned out the unending CCs, and the knockup will claim his life for now. And ONIC Esports looking to push this lead now with the Lord onto the top inhibitor. The Lord goes down, they haven't managed to get it yet, and ONIC Esports now trying to retreat, but TODAK is coming in for the counter engage. Momo onto Keyboy, but he takes too much damage from CW and gets eliminated.
Meanwhile, we can see Moon coming in from the backline. He wants to set up for the crossbow of Tang. Gets the burst onto CW, but loses his life in exchange. Chiku, he's still going for it on Drian, but isn't able to pop all the weakness points and gets taken out by Boots instead. Yooms, now one of the only ones remaining. Killing spree going over to Drian.
Whoa, I feel like that was a huge overextension there by TODAK. Chiku going way deep in, didn't manage to get out anything and traded his life out for that. And now ONIC Esports, they have the chance to press this. Too much damage onto Sans. He teleports out of the fight. For Maze continues to chase, will get immobilized by the Mystic Field and forced to back off.
I have to admit, this is just such a weird game coming out from TODAK right now. This does not feel like characteristic to their play. They're just getting walked over by ONIC Esports right now. And while they have been able to maintain their net worth difference for a long time, that previous fight ended up giving so much gold over to ONIC. They are now at a 6k net worth advantage. We're only 12 minutes in. TODAK 3 kills to 13. This is looking pretty one-sided.
Definitely is. And now TODAK, I feel like they're forced into, well, if your planning doesn't work, maybe plan B. Is their only way back into this game to just survive and use 4 Mace's split push ability to get the objectives?
Ideally, that is what they need to do now. 4 Mace at this point has to be used as a sacrificial lamb because he's the only one that can actually get objectives with his split push. Buy as much time as possible for Chiku. Moon, he already does enough damage to burst down squishier heroes like CW, so that is his job during these fights. But they need to be able to create opportunities for Chiku to get the crossbow of Tang. That is their winning factor in any fight at this point.
Yeah, or, well, I guess you need Moon to be able to dish out the damage as well, but you use one Yin Yang overturn. Unless you get the backline, you still have the likes of Keyboy and Boots as well fronting ONIC Esports. Now the Lord is spawned out on the top side here for Maze, finding a brawl with Sans here, but is going to get taken down. He gets the better of him. Now the numbers advantage goes to ONIC Esports, and they're pushing that advantage. Chiku in some trouble here, trying to hop away and put out the damage onto ONIC Esports. Going to be Keyboy popping that immortality. In the meantime, Keyboy gets shut down. This Dawning Light comes true, but will not be enough to claim the Lord. It goes to TODAK instead.
Finally, TODAK are actually able to take an objective in return. 4 Mace sacrificing his life there to keep Sans in check is actually very valuable. And if the Howl Shock had landed in time, he might have been able to trade his life for the Hellcut. Either way though, being able to secure that is pretty valuable. But we're already seeing Chiku definitely not quite farmed enough. He did pop the crossbow of Tang in that last fight, but we didn't really see any casualties.
Yeah, we did not. I guess there's just too much on the side of ONIC Esports, but they're trying again. The Lord is down. Chiku in the backline. They find their win condition and shut him down immediately. Next to go is Yooms. TODAK to try to fight back and find Keyboy, but at what cost? Momo sacrifices his life himself. It's gonna be Moon next, and now 4 Mace all alone in the middle of 3 men on ONIC Esports. What can he possibly do? He's gonna go down as well. And now 2 members on ONIC Esports. This is absolutely absolutely insane stuff.
I have absolutely no idea what I am witnessing right now. TODAK, they are basically just throwing bodies at ONIC in an attempt to win these fights. At first, it did look like a good opportunity to engage. Yumes, he missed out his fatal links, but forced Keyboy to use his Bloody Hunt on the Atlas. Lafel, what do you have to say?
Yeah, over here we can definitely see that Yumes try over and over again to actually get his fatal links. However, look at how they counter engage with, he tries to go on Boots, but Boots could immune every single thing over there. And looking at TODAK, just like you said, they're throwing bodies trying to get advantage one by one. And this is weird to say, but this is kind of TODAK's way of stalling the game. I'm not lying. This is their way of stalling the game. It's like we're just gonna drop bodies, but we're gonna push at the same time. So it's they can't do this until 20 minutes. As long as it's not 20 minutes yet, it's still a viable way to stall the game. It's weird, but just accept it, okay?
What is weird about it is that, yeah, as an MPLMY caster, I know this is what TODAK does. They actually do this. And I don't, even though it seems counterproductive, it has actually worked for them before. I don't know how, but it does. But yeah, as you mentioned, they cannot keep relying on that. Chiku needs some farm. 0 and 4 on the 1-1 is not typical Chiku gameplay.
Yeah, and I think it shows, right? The thing is, ONIC Esports also recognizes that Chiku is basically the win condition. They're stalling to either split push or get Chiku up as well. And they're diving right into him to take him out as the first person out of the fight.
But it should be more difficult to do such a thing. Yes, that is the goal of ONIC. Pick off the 1-1. All things considered, Chiku should be very difficult to catch when he has 3 tanky frontliners, and yet they are successfully picking him off every single fight. If ONIC Esports can continue doing this, they'll be in a pretty good spot. We've already reached the point where even if Keyboy uses his valuable Bloody Hunt on a hero like the Atlas, which at this point is basically a non-factor, they can still win fights simply because they have more farm, their positioning is better, they are catching out Chiku way too early.
Yeah, well, I guess it also maybe plays to the amount of CC that he has on the side of ONIC Esports, right? You just have too much to be able to, well, freeze the front line and make your way back, and coupled with the Dark Knight Falls, and you basically are blind for a couple seconds. I guess that gives you a little bit of leeway to have your way around the map and have more control. Right now, though, Moon getting caught by the Iron Hook as well as the Bloody Hunt. It's gonna be one down already. Not like this, TODAK. Keyboy now running, trying to make his way out from TODAK. They actually tried to counter engage here, but ONIC, they turned their backs on them instead. Momo goes down. They're trying to continue the siege here and find another kill, but not going to be able to.
We're already seeing the amount of damage that Drian is able to output. 5, 1, and 12 on the Xavier. He is an absolute monster in this game, chunking out more than half of Moon's HP in a single Dawning Light. And TODAK, they still engaged. They were willing to use Moon to set up for the crossbow of Tang, but when he popped it on the Franco, Keyboy used the conceal and forced the crossbow of Tang to be redirected to Koopa instead, meaning that TODAK just can't take that fight.
Definitely not, and right now ONIC Esports also has the Lord in their bag. Are they looking for a fight here though? Dawning Light comes through to take out the help, but Fortmaze just immediately blows out Santia, and trying to get in the middle of the backline here will take a lot of damage. The Iron Hook comes through, he's stunned down, not able to do anything, and takes way too much and claims his life.
All things considered though, despite the fact that the members of TODAK are actually getting caught out by Keyboy in situations where they really should not be, being able to trade for people is still a testament to the fact that TODAK, they are still fighting this, they're still looking for it. But with the Lord pushing up top lane and 4 members of ONIC alive, this is going to be a rough defense.
It definitely is. They've already got the mid inhibitor. The Dawning Light comes through for some defense. Doesn't seem to quite hit, but they do have this Evolve Lord knocking on the door of TODAK. Momo takes half his health out, but
Ooh.
Boots dangerously low, has to pop the Wild Charge to get out. Keyboy in some trouble as well. Doesn't get the Iron Hook here. Dawning Light takes up half of Chiku's HP. ONIC Esports forced to back, not able to finish off this push.
We're in a rough situation for TODAK here. It has taken so long for Chiku to actually come online, and even now that he has the damage and is able to pop the crossbow of Tang, CW, all he had to do was press that Wind of Nature, and it meant nothing, meaning that again, TODAK is not able to take the fight. They were able to defend against the Lord, so they survive for now, but they're left with only a single inhibitor turret. And we can see just in terms of damage dealt, Drian and CW are leagues ahead of everyone else in the game.
The Dawning Light's just absolutely insane, and also the damage coming in from CW. Well, you just send out Koopa, right? And then you just basically have free reign over attacking the opponents.
We can see that from the item builds here. Most of the players in this game are completing their builds. Drian already having all his items, Chiku as well, but still not doing quite enough damage. Right now, the only people still looking to complete their build are going to be Yums, Moon, Momo, and Keyboy on the side of ONIC. Obviously, these heroes at this point are a non-factor. It's all gonna come down to the primary cores. Chiku needs a perfect crossbow of Tang.
Oh, Keyboy finds a bloody hunt, but the three-man Fatal Links gets them! And now TODAK trying to press on their lead. CW goes down! Yums trying to chase down Keyboy in the middle lane. Will get this kill here. TODAK find this and turn the tables around. Crazy plays there. This is what you get when you don't get the Purify, like LaFell said. Holy Boots, the only one left will be shut down as well. It's a complete team wipe.
We are witnessing an absolute 180, a team wipe on ONIC Esports in a single move. TODAK have turned the entire game around. They have secured victory. They qualify to the playoffs. We are seeing ONIC Esports go home on day one of MSC 2022.
Wow! Wow! That was absolutely insane. This is Mobile Legends at its peak. You play so well the entire game. You just need one Fatal Links to fell. Like you said, 20 minutes in.
I gotta say it before the game starts. A lot of things that happened in the game, I called it. Just saying, I called it. But speaking of that, might someone call the ambulance? Because, whoa! My heart! That was, in case anyone doesn't know, I'm a Malaysian, so partial bias here, but that was a crazy game. And this is why watching TODAK is interesting, because they don't play conventionally. How else can you tell someone, it's like, how do you stall the game? Yeah, just throw bodies, man.